My name is Chuck Weger, State Senator for our area, and I have been elected since 1996. When we're in session, it usually starts at about 6:30. Usually a breakfast meeting in the community. Maybe it's up at the school. It could be with a local group. Maybe some citizen wants to share concerns, but oftentimes a breakfast function, maybe I have to talk to a group. Then I come here for committee meetings. I'll be the new chair for the Education Finance, and so we meet with lots of people concerned about the funding of schools and related issues, or it might be anything that's on their mind. So I'm here usually by 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then we have meetings throughout the day. We're in session as well when the full Senate meets a couple of days a week. And oftentimes, while we're in legislative session, there might be something at night, so it's a very long day. And that schedule is usually from January to May. And after that, then it's more of a normal schedule where you'll meet people in the community from time to time, go to various functions. Maybe I'll meet with the school board. I might go up to North High or Tartan or Malamute High. But it's not as rigorously demanding on your calendar once we're done with session. So lots of meetings, lots of people contact, a lot of speeches, those type of things. I was elected in November of 1996, and I ran when there appeared to be an opening for the Senate, and at least a lot of people encouraged me to run, and I had served on the school board, North St. Paul, Maplewood, Oakdale, for many years. I was actually elected to the school board when I was in college at Hamlin. So I was 21 and actually the youngest person ever elected to the school board in the state at that age. And so I had a lot of experience in the community, and I'm a graduate of North High, as were my parents, as were all of my 5 kids, and so I had a lot of involvement in different activities in the community, and the timing and everything seemed right, and so that in a nutshell is what happened, and I ran and was elected, and have always won my elections since then. So. My dad was always a big inspiration to me. He's left us now, but he was a North High grad as well, but he served in World War II. He was a real humble, hard-working, honest person. And that's probably the biggest thing. Your parents, they can give you is the legacy of their name and what they stood for. And I always looked up to him, and he died at a relatively young age in his mid-60s. So, but he was always there when for me, and growing up, and I had a very interesting trail before I got here to the Senate, and even before I went to college. I had a lot of different things in life where they were always supportive, and so I would say real honestly, it would be my dad that I looked up to the most. I was active in a certain amount of things. I mean, I love sports. I played football for a while until I kept getting banged up. I wish I would have weighed what I weigh now in high school, but I ended up being on a soccer team. But I just remember I was getting knocked up quite a bit. I was an end on the football team for a while, but then I was actually on the first soccer team that North High had. they didn't start soccer until the late 60s, and actually for women, the only thing that you could be in would be basketball. Otherwise, you were a cheerleader. So basketball's great, but women should have the same opportunities as men. And I like those activities. For that I was in basketball and baseball up till about 9th or 10th grade. It was incredibly hard to make the team, so I think I was third string for basketball. But this was before Tartan, and so we had like way over 2,000 people. I think there was at least 700 and some people in my class or more, and you did not know everybody like you might know in some situations, and it was incredibly crowded, so I remember those things. I did participate in some of the theater productions. I enjoyed that a lot, but the truth of the matter is I had a lot of adventurous spirit, and I dropped out of high school, and so I dropped out my junior year and did a lot of traveling around the country. Well, I used to work for Barnum and Bailey Circus. I worked on a ship around the world with the various chores. I was a bat boy for the Minnesota Twins in spring training, and then came back up to Minnesota. That was interesting. I was a dishwasher at a couple of restaurants. I used to be a waiter. What else did I do? I was a paper carrier, and I got to know lots of people in North St. Paul, Maplewood, Oakdale, through that. There's no set requirement other than that you have to be at least 21 years old and a citizen eligible to vote.
Do you think that, in your opinion, do you think the government is doing enough to prevent poverty?
No, and that's an increasing problem, the difference between the haves and the have-nots. And thanks. And we've had a commission on poverty, to end poverty, a great report if you want to look at it, a number of recommendations, and it's we continue to work on it. We'll be having meetings going in. It's not always just about more money, but the key, the ticket, the passport generally for getting out of poverty is equal educational opportunities. And so that's a huge priority for me.
It's going.
Oh, okay. Do you think funds for public school education is distributed equally between schools? Like,
not equally, we have funding formulas. There's about 343 school districts in the state, but then for high schools, maybe we have 1,800 or so. There's quite a few high schools. The school boards determine how they're going to allocate the funds to the schools, but is it equal? No. Should it be? It should be reasonably equal, but we don't tell them how they should spend the money on all the particular activities the local school board does. But what we do know is there's a difference in opportunities and it should not be that big a difference. When you go across the state where it's one thing to not have enough students to participate, but if you have enough students but they don't have educational opportunities because they don't have money, that's not fair. It has been effective. Does it need to be reformed? We did not provide enough funds, I believe, on remediation We probably provided too many penalties instead of additional funds and resources. And so we've put together a number of suggestions as to make it better. But should we still have high expectations? Absolutely. By and large, yes. Are there exceptions? Absolutely. And we can always point to one. As you can do that for any profession. You can do that for lawyers, doctors, police, politicians, for sure. But the overwhelming majority are doing an outstanding job. For those that aren't meeting that expectation, that would be unfortunate, and then the hope would be that they would get help or be counseled into a different line of work. What we've done a lot to improve in that area in response to violence, Columbine and other shooting incidents, but we need to have everyone should have an expectation of safety when they enter the schools. And so we needed to, have guards, or at least a way of monitoring who goes in the building. But even beyond that, on safety issues, I've been very concerned just about cyberbullying and the texting, and that can go on. I think adults, what a bad example a lot of adults set in this area, but we've seen some of the real sad things that have happened in just in that area too, and so I'm very strong on zero tolerance for bullying, and that district policy might state that, and I'm sure North High would state that, but then enforcing it and making sure that's a part of the culture, that there's respect, and that overshadows the other so fundamental 3 R's of reading, writing, arithmetic. Is respect. And if you don't have respect for other people, we're in real sad shape. Sure. But you balance it, and and everybody has stress, and then it's how you manage it. I love to go for walks. I love North Shore. I love the outdoors a great deal, and so I probably walk at least 2-3 miles a day. I love to get out with the dogs, but being out and active, and we work hard, but then take time to smell the roses and enjoy the simple things in life. I believe strongly in freedom, in the Bill of Rights, that every person has a right to be who they want to be, and that we should encourage people to be who they want to be, that they have the same rights as all of us, to want to be, to achieve that dream, whatever it is, but they have a right to be who they are, and that we need to respect that right, that we need to be tolerant. That's real fundamental, that just respecting people for who they are, and the diversity of people that we have, the increasing diversity in our community, on our planet, and so that would be a core value in terms of respecting people and honoring, celebrating diversity. Public policy-wise, my strongest belief would be in public education as providing the best opportunity for people to achieve that dream that they might have.